But here I am 20 years later with mangled, mangled up feet as a result of the, poison that is chemotherapy. I mean, let's be honest, chemo isn't medicine, it's poison. It kills the cancer, but kills you too. And the longer you're on it, the more of you it kills. And neuropathy is a thing that a lot of chemo patients deal with. Generally, like I say, the longer you're on it, the more you're going to experience it. And for me, it started in my toes and my fingers. Now, my fingers, I can move my hands around and get the sensation back in my fingers, but my toes are just dead, man. Just a dead, dangling little thing.
As far as, health is going on, how'd you get down to 160 and how'd you get back to health where you are today?
Well, I had been at this point I was out of wrestling and I was working in a grounds crew for minor league baseball in Dayton, Ohio. And I didn't have a lot of energy. I was really tired all the time. I was losing a lot of weight. But I just thought, well, this is because I'm all getting older. This is because, eating different, or whatnot. I went back home and it was a chest x-ray is what started everything. Just a normal routine chest x-ray, and they just found dozens and dozens of tumors all in my chest cavity, more or less.
Oh, wow.
And that was some of them were putting pressure on my heart, and some were putting pressure on my lungs. And, of course, I've had too much information now at the time about cancer, but technically speaking, the difference between Hodgkin's and non-Hodgkin's, technically, it's the presence or absence of a certain kind of protein in the cancer. If it has this protein, it's the Hodgkin's variety. If it lacks this protein, why then it's the non-Hodgkin's. But from a layman's perspective, typically if they discover the cancer in your chest, it's probably going to be Hodgkin's. And if they discover it somewhere else in your body, it's probably going to be the first. If they discover it first, you know what I'm saying? If you discover it first outside of your chest, anywhere else in your body, it's typically the non-Hodgkin's. So I had the Hodgkin's, and it took them a while to get me on the right chemo. They can't just start you on a generic treatment. They have to specifically identify what kind of cancer it is and what kind of chemo they're going to give you. And that took a while. There's a few operations there. I had to get some things cut out of me. And I think it was 3 cycles of chemo with no improvement whatsoever. In fact, I got worse. And then they said, all right, after the next one, if there's no improvement, we're just going to take you off the chemo because of what it's doing to you. And as fortune would have it, the 4th cycle is the one that did the trick. And then I stuck around a little while longer, and then we did a 5th cycle, just for good measure. And that was over 2 years ago. I've had multiple checkups since then. Everything's good to go, and it's really crazy. I questioned more why I got better than I questioned why I got sick. But it was pretty bad, so I wasn't walking anymore, losing my vision. It was really crazy. I'd lay in bed sometimes and I'd think, all right, how much worse is this going to get? How much more am I going to suffer for? This is finally over. And of course, lo and behold, it would get worse. Something else would, stop working or whatnot. And I looked pretty bad. And then, like I said, just as quick as I got sick, I just started getting better 10 times faster one day. Started getting better, kept getting better.